Now, we're going to talk about cancer drugs now. Now, the cancer drugs, alright, so let me talk about cancer drugs now. Alright, and, well, what we call chemotherapy, right? Alright, the objective is to eradicating the last neuroplastic cells, basically the cancer cells, alright? The objective is eradicating the last neoplastic cells, alright? So now, these are antineoplastic agents, alright? Alright, and typically neoplastic agents, alright, what we call cancer drugs, typically follow first order kinetics, alright? Meaning, more cancer cells you have, the more the eradication, the faster the faster the rate of eradication is. All right, but basically, it kills the function. Kills the fraction of cells. Right, not constant number of cells. So keep that in mind, alright? So this is important because now, let's think about the situation here. So let's say you have number of treatments, and percent killed, alright? Actually, let me erase this part right here, right? Percent killed, and number of tumor cells killed, and number of tumor cells survived. Alright? So let's say we start out with the first treatment, alright? And then let's say the anti-cancer drug kills 90% on each dose, let's say. Now, and the tumor cells killed. The first round, well, let's say it started out with, let's say 1 million cells. Alright? So then, alright, now, so, well, let's say it killed 90%, so the first one, number killed from the initial treatment would be 900,000 killed. Then the cell survival would be 100,000. Alright, and then in this case, I'll just put 90%, and alright, the round 3 in this case, alright, again 90% killed, so 90 this case again, well, let's see, so this is how much would be survived. So 90% killed would be, you have 90,000 killed, and you have 10,000 left survived. Alright, and then next round will be 90% killed, so you have 9,000, and you have killed, and you have 1,000 survived. So basically it goes by 90% killed every time. So, and it goes all the way into 1, and that's after 6 treatment. Alright, so again 90% killed, and then you have 9 killed and 1 left. Now, so at the 7th treatment, you have 90% chance of killing 1. Well, it's either killed or not killed. So at the 7th treatment, you might be able to kill this, and you have 0, or if you don't kill it and you still have 1. Now keep that in mind. Cancer cells, if you eradicate, it's not going to come back. Now it's hugely important that you actually eradicate this 1 to 0. So at the 7th treatment, chances are, well, will this be 0? Well, if it is, then cancer cell is gone. Right? If it's not 0, then this 1 multiplies again and replicate, and then again you have cancer cells. And that's what we call remissions, alright? Now, after you go through the treatment and you actually don't see the visible cancer cells, alright? But keep that in mind, cancer treatment is really tricky because, again, after you have 1 left and the next treatment, you may not actually kill this. You don't know, alright? So keep that in mind. Alright, now, keep that in cytotoxic drugs, alright, are not specific to the cancer cells, alright, or in this case cytotoxic. Well, some are, but also the action, alright, it's not specific in its action, alright. So here, cytotoxic drugs, alright, are not specific in their action. Alright, so in this case, cancer cells arrested as well as normal cells. Alright, if you're using cytotoxic drugs, alright, there are different classes of drugs, but cytotoxic drugs basically it affects all the cells. So in this case, it affects the normal cells as well. So keep that in mind. Now, but the advantage of this in this class of cancer drugs, advantage of this is cancer is very rapid growing, whereas normal cells are not. So in this case, normal cells may not be affected as much. All right. So here, the rapid proliferating tissues. All right. All right. Such as bone marrow. All right. Lymphatic system, all right, oral gastrointestinal epithelium, all right, skin, hair, all right, follicles would be affected because, again, these are rapid proliferating cells, which means they regenerate relatively fast, so it gets affected as well as cancer cells. And you have seen a lot of people going through cancer treatment losing hairs. That's because it actually, the drug is cytotoxic, so it actually kills, or it stops the activity of the cell, all right, and whether it's a cancer cell or hair follicles, it prevents it slows down the growth, basically, all right, and therefore hair doesn't grow and there's no replacement if hair falls off, all right, or actually the hair follicle cells actually die as well, all right. So because of that, cytotoxic drugs, all right, are not done continual basis at low dose. Instead, it's done at the high dose in rapid and high dose intermittent approach is taken. All right. Because of that, so treatment high dose intermittent approach, all right, there's only 1 T in a minute, alright, approach. Because if you continue to use cytotoxic drugs, basically, while your cell dies, then you die. And of course, I mean, eventually everybody dies, but idea is to just to try to kill the cancer cells, not the normal cells. But as a side effect, normal cells do die, alright, so keep that in mind. So you don't want to do low dose, continuous, long term approach. Instead, you want to do high dose, kill as many cancer cells as possible, and try to reduce the actual number of the cycle of treatment. All right, you saw the numbers. Like in this case, even if you kill 90% at a time, you have to go through about 7 treatments. All right, and then you stop for a period of time. All right, and see whether actually cancer went into remission or not. All right, now we are talking about class of anti-cancer drugs and cover various types of anti-cancer drugs. Alright, so one is alkylating agent. And basically, it generates a highly reactive carbonium ion that form covalent linkage with nucleophilic component, all right? All right, on both DNA and protein. All right, so now another class would be bifunctional alkylating agent, and basically alkylating agent, and that cross-links two nucleic acid or one pair of nucleic acid. Now, nucleic acid or one protein and nucleic acid. All right. Now, well, what happens? Well, it kills cancer cells. Well, it kills normal cells too, but kills cancer cells first, basically. All right, because these reagents, right, again, kills normal cells. Keep that in mind. They're cytotoxic drugs. All right. Now, kills cancer cells first because a cell grows. These cancer cells grows a lot more or faster, a lot faster than normal cells. So keep that in mind. Now, another one would be, again, so you kill cells, but they get killed in different rates. So hopefully you kill cancer cells before you kill normal cells, and that's the idea, basically. All right. Another one would be anti-metabolite. Right, anti-metabolite. All right. That's not a structural analog of nucleic acids, for example, like you have uracil, and if you have a derivative like fluorouracil, that would behave just like uracil, except it doesn't quite go through the actual metabolic process or the cell growth process, because the fluorouracil does not get actually transcribed or translated correctly. So again, I'm going to talk about that. So here, a structural analog of naturally occurring components or compounds, and functions as fraudulent substance for biochemical process or processes, right? So example would be fluorouracil. To give an example. So again, you have your let's look at the uracil. So uracil, but then there's a fluorine here, so it's a 5-fluorouracil. But turns out this one is fluorouracil is this is what we call 5-fluorouracil. All right, it metabolized and to make fluorouridine, so FUDR, all right. All right, and that's further metabolized to 5-fluorodeoxyuridine, or actually, let me go back. 5-fluorodeoxyuridylate. It's FD, UMP. All right, so it's 5-fluorodeoxyuridylate, which actually is that inhibits the enzyme. I think it's thymidylate synthase. All right, but in turn, basically what's happening is inhibits the formation. Basically, in turn, what's really happening is, well, let me actually write down, inhibits the formation of DNTPs, basically, or in this case, TTPs. So inhibits the formation of DTTPs, all right? And also, 5-fluorouracil, all right, is incorporated into 5-FUTP, all right, and into messenger RNA, which also affects the cell cycle process. All right. So again, also 5-FU, all right, is incorporated into 5-FUTP, right, and into messenger RNA, all right. So, well, why? Because, well, when you think about it, well, so now, well, what's good about it? Well, let's see. Well, you have to remember from the cell cycle, all right. So now you have, well, you have cell cycles. Let's say you have cell cycles. Alright, and then it goes to, remember the G1 phase and so on? You have the G1 phase. Alright, so this is RNA and protein synthesis. Alright, and then there's S phase. Alright, S phase. Alright, again, the DNA synthesis. Alright, and then let's see, let me erase the whole thing. And then G2 phase. G2 phase, and then finally you have mitosis. Alright. Alright. And then you actually, this kind of cuts. But anyways, alright, and then you have mitosis. Alright. So again, so fluorouracil, again, when you look at the cell cycle, alright, fluorouracil is effective at between the G1 phase and S phase, alright. So again, because, well, it has something to do with, well, RNA synthesis, right? So again, fluorouracil would be a pretty good drug, alright, for this phase. Again, for DNA synthesis, does it affect? Not really, no.